Hey guys, this is April at Georgia Mom Plans. I have another reading video for you today, and today is going to be my March reading wrap-up as well as my reading journal update, and I'm so excited to share the 7 books that I read with you this month. Right here I have the physical books that I read, so you can take a look at those. And now we are going to jump into my reading journal to do some updates here with you. So as I have finished books, I have gone through and updated these first pages here, but I do want to go over those with you. I did read, I read one book from my 26 and 2026 last month. That was The Ever King. And then I'm currently reading a book as a little preview for you on this list, which is The Night and the Moth. So that is my 26 and 2026. And then I can't remember if at the end of last month if I had already selected my book of the month, but I picked up Ken from T.R. Jones, and then I have already picked up or chosen my April book of the month, which is Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. So that is my book of the month spread. Looking at my physical TBR, I did read 2 books last month from my physical TBR and added 2 books to my physical TBR as well. Moving on to my book club, I am all caught up. I did read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and we did already have our book club discussion for that one. And then we have set the date for our next book, but have not selected the book. And then I am completely caught up on my Becca and the Books book club. No DNFs. And then series tracker, I have highlighted quite a few. I've read some more from the Dungeon Crawler Crawl series, another from Crowns of Nyaxia, and another from the Finley Donovan series. So knocking out some for my series tracker. Now looking at my yearly book tracker, I love how this is looking. So like I said, I did read 7 books this month, so we can go through all of these. So the first book of the month was a fantasy, and that was Carl's Doomsday Scenario. I am loving this series so much. That was my first read of the month, and it was a physical read. And then the second read of the month was It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan, and that was an audiobook. Next was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, another physical read. And I really wanted to call this one a romance, but it had it listed as historical. So I did mark it as historical fiction here with this color. It was definitely like a historical romance for sure, but I'm probably not going to have a ton of historical, so it is nice to see a different color on there. Next was The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. Like I said, this was one of my 26 and 2026. It was a romantasy. Next here, this is not a color you see a ton. This is just for lit fic or just fiction. I read Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I really enjoyed this book. I was a little nervous to read it because I was a little nervous it was going to be heavy, but I really enjoyed that book. So that was my third physical read of the month. Next, this is my mystery / thriller color. I don't read a ton of them, but this was Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. I did listen to this as an audiobook. I realized the first 2 books I read back in 2023, so it was nice to get back into the series, and I do enjoy them. They're light and easy, so I read the 3rd book, the Finley Donovan series, and then the last audiobook was Romantasy, and this was 6 Scorched Roses, which was one of the little novellas in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, so it was technically 1.5, and that rounded out my 7 books for the month. And I love how that looks. I did get to fill in a few more letters. I did Atmosphere for A by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and then C, I had Carl's Doomsday Scenario. E, I had The Ever King, and then I think that's it for this month. So I did fill in 3 letters there, so making a lot of progress. A lot of pink and purple over here. Now, moving into my monthly stats, I do have my story graph open to reference. This is the first month that I actually went into Storygraph and changed the edition that I was reading so that I could match audiobook versus physical. And I'm a little torn because it doesn't have my page count on there, like my total page count anymore. In the first 2 months, I had my total page count. So you have to let me know in the comments. Do I put the physical pages read and then add the minutes listened? Or, excuse me, the hours listened? Because that's how it's broken down now, is pages for my physical reads and hours for my audiobooks. I don't know that I want to put in the effort to go look up all of the page counts and then add them to what it already has. So I might just put hours listened. We're just going to go there. And if I don't like it, I can change it. So I did read, like I said, 7 books again. That's a good average for me, third month in a row. So physical pages, I read 1,695, which is almost half of what I did in January. But it's because I also had listened. I'm just going to write listened here to 24.63 hours of audio. So I read 3 physical books and listened to 4 audiobooks. One of the audiobooks was a novella, but still, I had that many hours listened and pages read. I don't love that, but we're just going to move on for now. So let's move on to March and we can fill in my monthly reading stat. So I am using the same monthly reading stat tracker from Jessica Hart's for this month. Again, the first one here is pages read. So I am going to put on there 1,695 pages and then 24.63 hours. Number of books read 7. My average rating was a 4.14. Not too bad. Not as high as last month, but not too bad. And then the longest I read was The Ever King. How did I do that last month? Did I write the book? Oh no, I wrote the page length. So I'm going to have to go look at that. And since I marked The Ever King as audio, I'll have to figure that out. The shortest is definitely going to be 6 Scorched Roses, so I will look those up. Genres read, I had romance as number 1. I think this is the first month fantasy was not number 1. So romance and fantasy were tied. So romance, fantasy, and literary. I had 2 literaries this month. One was historical, one was just literary fiction, but there we go. So sources, physical. I had 3 physical books. I had no e-reader, and I had 4 audiobooks this month. And so looking at my 2026 progress, I have read 21 of 60. Making progress there. What did I do for books left on TBR? Actually, this month, I read everything that I said I wanted to read. So we did not leave anything on my monthly TBR. Obviously, I have tons of books on my physical TBR, but from a monthly TBR perspective, I did not leave anything on there. I am going to go ahead. I pulled out some of my leftover stickers. I'm going to go ahead and put a few down here so that I can put my quote of the month down here at the bottom. I will pick a quote. I have them tabbed for my book of the month, so we'll do that down there. Now, I went ahead and filled out all of my book review stickers. So this set of stickers is from Pen, Paper, and Plans, and this one is from Jessica Hart's. This one was just a set of 6, so I needed one more, so that's why I pulled that out. So I'm going to have 7 again, and I did pull some deco. I think I want to put the deco down first. This is a little freebie from Saucy Stickers Co. So I'm going to put these down first, and then I will pop in all of my book review stickers around these. And then this is a sheet from Nikki Plus 3. I do have discount codes for both Nikki Plus 3 and Pen, Paper, and Plans, so definitely check the description to get those discount codes. Put that there. There we go. And then I am gonna do this little sticker in this month. This sheet is from Blissful Jade Designs. It's her monthly dashboards, which I use the majority of the sheet in my monthly pre-plan and my plum paper planner, but I love keeping the leftovers. Just gonna leave that here to use in my reading journal. I do have a discount code for Blissful Jade Designs as well. So I did go through, and like I said, I filled these out, and I also filled them out in my reading order. So I'm going to pop these in, and then we will go through all of my ratings. And then these are really fun because they also have other information you can put in. Star rating, pepper rating, as well as your format. So those were in the previous month. I wrote the format on the side. This has a spot for format. So do this. And I don't want the one different one just like by itself at the end, so I'm going to pop it here in the middle. It wasn't the last book I read. So, all right, so I finished that whole sheet. Oh, I just realized her name got cut off, so I'm going to fix that. There we go. Okay. So, let's go through. I'm going to grab my yellow to fill in my star rating. It may not show up great on the colored stickers, but that is okay. So let's see here. First book of the month was It's a Love Story, and I rated this one 4 stars. I did really enjoy this. I thought it was funny, like had me laughing. I liked the characters. I liked the story. And yeah, it was a fun, nice little 4-star. 1 pepper. I mean, it had some sex scenes, but it wasn't super spicy. And I did this one as audiobook. All right. Perfect. Moving on, next was Carl's Doomsday Scenario, which is book 2 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Gave this one 4.5. I believe the same as the first Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yep, 4.5, yes. They are just so good. I have already started the 3rd book. Highly enjoying the series. No spice, literally no romance at all. And I did that one physical. Atmosphere, 5 stars. So good. It had me crying. It had me happy. Touched my heart. The relationship, the aunt-niece relationship was so special to me. I was so close to my aunt. My mom also left, and my aunt was a huge part of my life, so I loved that relationship. I loved the romance. I loved the space. Just loved it. I don't even think, I mean, there was some spice, but like half a pepper. It was very, very low spice, but I loved it. And I read that as a physical book. And that's my only 5-star of the month. Shocking, but such a good one. So next was 3 Scorched Roses. This is the little novella in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I have to say I wasn't, like, as this one started, it took me a long time to get into it. But once I got into it, I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5. It was pretty good, just not my favorite. I listened to it on audiobook. That it may be because I listened to it On audiobook, I just really wasn't connecting. It was also a novella, so. There is Six Scorched Roses. Next was Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. I also gave this one 3.5. I mean, these are just little silly mysteries. I like them, but they are what they are. I mean, honestly, this one, I did not see the twist coming. So, ooh, this one had some peppers. I forgot about these peppers. I'm gonna give Six Scorched Roses 2 peppers. It wasn't crazy, but definitely had some. Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. I mean, half a pepper. There was some kissing. But 3.5 for that one, and that one I listened to on audiobook. Now, the Ever King, let's talk about some spice. That one was spicy, and I enjoyed it. So this was audiobook. I'm excited to pick up the next one. Ever King, I gave 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I have been dying to read a L.J. Andrews, so I'm so excited that I finally knocked it out, and I'm excited to continue that series. I can't remember how many are in the series, but I am excited. So that was a 4-star. And last book of the month was Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite. This one, this one didn't have a spice rating. I need to add a spice rating to that one because, woof, that one I'd give 3 peppers. There was a little bit of spice in Cursed Daughters, but not a lot. I'm gonna give it half a pepper. Star rating, 4.5 stars. As soon as I finished the book, I was like, that was 5 star. That was 5 star. But once I sat on it a little bit, I did drop it down to 4.5 just because it was a little bit of a slow start for me, but I loved the ending. Loved it. So 4.5 stars. And I read that one as a physical book. So now I think it's pretty obvious. Book of the month is going to Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. All right, so I went in and filled all of my reading dates in here. I also pulled this fully booked little notepad from Light Splendor Action and pulled this pepper rating as well as this little book, like open book with the florals. I thought that went with the spring theme, and then I colored in some of those florals on there. So for the pepper rating for the Ever King, I'm gonna give it 3 peppers. It wasn't like the craziest spicy, but it had some pretty good spice, and it was by far the spiciest book I read this month. So there is my pepper rating. There we go. And then I want to award my book of the month. So I have my Scribble Prints Co. Awards version 2. That is 100% going to my only 5-star read of the month, which was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am going to color this in with the yellow I've been using for my star ratings. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't think I have read a book by her that I did not enjoy, but this one was just so different, and I just loved it so much. It made me cry multiple times, and it was just so good. So if you have not read it, highly suggest it. I did read the physical book. I've heard the audiobook is really good as well. I do plan on, after I finish physically reading all of Dungeon Crawler Carl, I do plan on going back and listening to the audiobooks of those because I've also heard those are amazing. But yeah, here is my March reading wrap up. Very happy with my March reading. My stats, I do have some quotes tabbed from Atmosphere that I will fill in here. And yeah, there are the 7 books that I read. I have not set up anything yet for April. I do have some things pulled for April. I have these stars and letters from Sugar Pop Fizz I thought I may use. I've got a little book stack from Miss and Meow. This spring ephemera from Sadie Stickers. A few other little book stickers from My Newest Addiction. And then that same sheet that I showed you from BlissfulJaydeDesigns. This is the one left over from April. So I will start working on my April setup soon. And I did want to show you my April to be read physical. So I do actually this month plan on reading 3 physical books again. That is the goal. I do have one chunky one. That would be the only, but it's a chunky book, but it's Dungeon Crawler Crawl, so I think I'm going to fly through it and it'll be fine. So I am currently reading the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, which is book 3 in the Dungeon Crawler Crawl series. Already 100 pages in, so about a fifth of the way in. It's a little over 500 pages, so that is going to be my first physical read of the month. And then my second physical read of the month is going to be To Cage a Wild Bird. This was a pre-order that I received last month. I've heard good things about it. It is a gorgeous copy. I've been following Brooke for a few years now on Instagram, and I ordered this as soon as she announced the pre-order, so I think it was like 6 months ago I pre-ordered this. I'm so excited to dive into it. So this is a dystopian fantasy, and then the third physical read for the month that I plan on picking up is Heartless Hunter, which is the Crimson Moth book 1. I do plan on reading this probably towards the end of April, and then I'm immediately going to pick up Rebel Witch after. So I have been wanting to read this duology for a while. This is by Kristen Cicerelli, and it's one of my 26 and 2026. So is this one. So I will have a minimum of 3 books for my 26 and 2026 read this month, because I'm also listening to The Night and the Moth right now. So it should be a really good reading month. That is 4 books that you can look forward to hearing me talk about at the end of April, and I am so excited about it. If you enjoyed this reading journal setup, please give this video a thumbs up. If you are not already, please subscribe to my channel. I do upload reading and planning related videos for you every single month. If you have any book suggestions, please leave those below. I am always looking for more books to read. Like I said, I've been averaging about 7 a month, but I'm always adding to the list. My physical to be read list is always growing, and I love it. So if you've read any of the same books as me this month, please let me know what you thought, and any book suggestions, please leave those as well. If you are not already, please go follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Georgia Mom Plans. You can see my reading and planning spreads over there. I do post almost daily over there, and I do try and post videos for you here on YouTube a few times a month. If you are not already, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you here for all of the reading and planning related content. Again, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!